Hey guys, this is Abhinav from Startup Analytics. Thanks for joining us today. We'll be going through a typical, try to understand how a life cycle of a data analytics project or, answering specific questions from data looks like, right? And I'll use my favorite example here of cricket, which I love sports, and cricket is one of the ways to actually analyze well, thanks to Stephen from ClickSheet. Typical project involves basically, picking the raw data files, processing it into some usable format, and then doing your analysis or building a model out of it. So this tutorial basically goes through this entire process in a pretty much four-step process. Before we jump on to running an analysis or even figuring out visualizing the data, right? The first thing to figure out is how does my data look? So in this case, the raw files are actually YAML files, which is an unstructured format of data where you have some metadata and actual, ball by ball information. But this is something that we cannot consume through our, typical R and Python for analysis, right? Which is why the first step is to convert this into a usable format so that we can actually run our analysis, do our models, right? And this is pretty much similar to how my real life experience has been. The query data is there, but it's not in a format that you can consume directly, and you want to first convert that to a certain consumable, clear format, right? And yeah, like, I mean, what we're going to do here is going to be similar to what Janelle did in Moneyball. I like this example because this is one game, one movie which actually pushed me to trying out data science and data analytics, right? And I would recommend all of you to watch the movie if you haven't. We have these YAML files, you know, they are cluttered, and now we want to convert them to a data set. Luckily, I've been using R for this specific case, but you could pretty much be doing it in Python or any other language, right? And we also happen to have this package called Yorker, which allows you to convert this YAML files into a clear data set, right? To a clear format. There's a script I will share over the description, but yeah, thanks to this gentleman, Tenyamvi Ganesh, it's pretty much fairly a 2-3 line process to do this. And, it basically converts these YAML to very easily consumable format. And now, yes, we have the data sets. It's a very clean data set with each row being a ball and an IPL match. And you also have the corresponding attributes like who's the batsman, who's the bowler, right? How many runs were scored, what are the extras, and if you go to the subsequent columns, right, you also see who's the winner, which is the team batting, which is the team one, team two, right? In this context, and yeah, it's a fairly very structured format of data which we can easily analyze and figure out and answer the question of which if batting has gotten easy over the last few years in cricket. Before we, actually do the analysis, right? Like a basic check on the data set, like we found like 2.5 lakh rows of data. There were around somewhere around 1,083 matches played, which is quite less for the 17 seasons. You might want to think that it's quite a lot more than that. There were some 671 batsmen, 531 relief bowlers. Again, like, over the years, I saw so many players come and go. I thought there might be a much larger pool of batsmen and bowlers who have participated in IPL, but interestingly, its combined set is just some thousand people over the 17 years, right? And yeah, like, this is from 2008 to 2024. What I did is I took the runs from each match for every year, aggregated by the year, right? So on the x-axis, you have the years, and on the y-axis, you have the average run scored a match in that year, right? And as you see, right, uh, the distribution of runs for that specific year, I've made it as a box plot, right? Box plot is a way to where you have a box where the lower bound and the upper bound of the box are the 25th and the 75th percentiles, and the black line between the box is the median, which is the 50th percentile of runs in this context. Now, why is a box plot a very interesting way to visualize? Because it allows us to both plot the mean, the medians, as well as the distribution of the data, right? And here, as you can see, we see that the median run score in a year has slightly been trending up in the last few years, right? Which is primarily 2021 onwards. which actually clarifies, or at least adds a little bit more evidence to our hypothesis as to if it's gotten easier. Again, we cannot directly conclude from this plot, but we can definitely, at some level, uh, be able to at least validate the hypothesis to some extent. Is that yes, there seems to be a case where the number of runs scored in a match has been going up in the last few years. And the horizontal line, that around 300 is something I made just for reference and easy visualization, or at least be able to compare the trend of the distribution of runs along with this. But yeah, this is one simple example of how you can actually use data to pick a question, figure out an hypothesis, fetch the data, clean it, and then finally do your analysis, right? So that you can actually answer your question. It's very well designed for analysis and all. And also, I personally got interested in info data and all by playing around with sports data sets, and which I felt is a very good way to actually pick up and go about doing things. You will find the scripts and whatever details in the description below. And if you enjoyed the video, please do like, share, and subscribe.